Now on BBC One at 10 o'clock, the BBC News with Huw Edwards.
Tonight at 10, a decade-long strategy is unveiled for dealing with drug abuse in England and Wales. Joining officers on a raid in Liverpool, the Prime Minister threatens punishment for drug dealers and recreational users.
The drugs gangs are doing major damage to life chances of kids growing up in this country. I think it is a disgusting trade.
But the biggest spending will be on supporting the rehabilitation of drug addicts, with more services being made available. The overall package is worth more than £1 billion. We'll have details of how it's being spent. Also tonight, confirmation that the Omicron variant of coronavirus is being transmitted within communities across the UK. The US announces a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics because of China's record on human rights. The former elected leader of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, is found guilty of inciting dissent and given a prison sentence. And we talk to the Hollywood legend Mel Brooks, who at 95 is looking back at his eventful life.
And coming up in the sport on the BBC News Channel, all eyes on Goodison Park as Everton host Arsenal, desperate for an improved performance in the Premier League.
Good evening. A 10-year strategy for dealing with drug abuse in England and Wales has been announced by Boris Johnson. He said the focus would be on supporting the rehabilitation of drug addicts, doing more to discourage the recreational use of drugs, and punishing those involved in drug gangs. Now, the biggest share, £780 million, will be spent on improving treatment services. All local authorities in England will receive new money. £300 million will be spent in England and Wales on breaking up supply lines, including thousands of drug gangs. In England alone, there are thought to be more than 250,000 people addicted to heroin, and it's estimated that nearly 1 million people use cocaine every year in England and Wales. Now, the Home Office says that crimes associated with drugs, including burglary and shoplifting, cost society nearly £20 billion a year in England. Our Home editor Mark Easton looks at these proposals, and his report does contain some flash photography.